Okay. So, good evening to one and all present here, and it's a very special day for us today that we have a very eminent personality with us to deliver the 9th webinar at IET Kanyakumari local network. So, basically, from IET we used to conduct webinars every month. So, this is the 9th webinar, which is organized by IET Kanyakumari local network. So, for this day, we have a very eminent personality with us with the topic making a new beginning. So, it's a very different topic, and I hope it will be useful for each and every one of you. So, and in this outset, I would like to also welcome the participants or the innovators who have come a long way till the finals, and they are expecting the results for today. So, our chief guest of the day, Mr. Balaji Chandrakumar, will be congratulating them in this special event. So we'll also announce the winners. So to kickstart the session, we will straight away start with the welcome address. So it will be given by the chairman of IET Kanyakumari local network, who is none other than Xavier sir, and he is also the principal of Arunachala College of Engineering for Women. So I kindly request you to welcome the gathering, sir. What?
Yes, thank you, Geoffer. Good evening, all of you. So IET, the main motto of IET is transforming engineers into a skilled engineer. That is the main motto of this IET. So as a part of that, so every month we are organizing a webinar, not only webinar, so many events, so that the young engineers will be transformed into a skilled engineers. So as a part of the travel, today we are organizing a wonderful webinar, making a new beginning. After the COVID pandemic, so everywhere a new beginning is required. Either it may be a job, or it may be a business, or it may be education. So a new beginning is required because of this COVID pandemic. So the right person to talk on this topic is none other than the today's chief guest, Mr. Balaji Chandrakumar, Group Head of HR, Goodhope Asia Holdings, Sri Lanka. So we are grateful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation and sparing your valuable time. On behalf of IET Kanyakumari local network family, I welcome you for this webinar. Next, I am happy to welcome the Secretary of IET KKLN. He is the backbone of IET KKLN. Without the Secretary, Dr. Marsaline Beno, Vice Principal of St. Xavier's Catholic College. So the IET KKLN is nothing. So like that, he is working behind the screen. So on behalf of everyone, I welcome Dr. Marsaline Beno for this webinar. Next, I am happy to welcome the Treasurer of this IET KKLN, Dr. Judson, Professor, Department of ECE, St. Xavier Catholic Engineering College. He is also a motivator, as well as he is also a very hard worker, and he is taking care of the financial activities in IET KKLN. On behalf of everyone, I welcome our Treasurer, Dr. Judson, to this webinar. I also welcome the Joint Secretary, Joint Treasurer, similarly Vice Chairman of IET KKLN for this webinar. I take this opportunity to welcome the CCSA member, Mr. Reginald, for this webinar. I also happy to welcome Engineer Geoffer from Siemens. So we are organizing a lot of online events. Today morning also we conducted the 150 year. So the idea presentation final we conducted. So many events we are organizing through the online platform. So without the Vice Chairman, Young Professional Society of IET KKLN, Engineer Geoffer, it is not possible to organize such lot of events. So I take this opportunity to thank Engineer Geoffer as well as welcome Geoffer for this program. And also I welcome all the participants, those who are joined through this online platform. I welcome you all. Definitely this program will be very useful for you. So definitely, so that make you a new beginning after the COVID pandemic. Thank you for the opportunity.
So actually, we are expecting the CCSA member of IET Kanyakumari Local Network, Mr. Bright Reginald Raja. So he will be joining shortly, and he wants to share a few words about our resource person of the day. So meantime, since it is taking time, we will kickstart the session. So I hand over the session to our resource person, Mr. Balaji Chandrakumar sir, to hand over the session. Over to you, sir.
Yes. Just get my presentation on. Can you see my presentation, Geoffer?
Yes, sir. It's clear now. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Right. So, respected Chairman, Secretary, the Assistant Secretary Treasurer, Vice Chairman, Geoffer, thank you so much for inviting me for this session. Special thanks to Bright Reginald Raja, my good friend and a classmate of mine. So we have had memories and we have had journey together. At the outset, I really would like to congratulate this entire forum because the idea of the forum is brilliant. So you want to create engineers to be more skilled engineers. So the world really needs excellent people who can transform people's lives. That transformational journey is a very important aspect, and I really congratulate this network to help people to become better engineers. Congratulations to all of you. I also understand that we're celebrating the 150th year of this forum, and we are also going to be giving awards and the winners. Really appreciate all of you. So thank you so much. So let me get started. So I'm going to make this presentation as lively and simple as possible because there's nothing technical that I'm going to talk about. So just to give you a background of who I am. So I'm a mechanical engineer by qualification. I have a master's degree in HR and I also have a master's degree in management. So I currently head human resources for a group of companies. I am right now based in Sri Lanka, but otherwise I'm supposed to be based out of Singapore and Malaysia. Right now I'm in Sri Lanka and I handle 15,000 employees across Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and I have an operation that happens out of Kakinada in Andhra Pradesh, India as well. That's the nature of job that I currently do. I had a very interesting thought when Reggie asked me, so would you be able to do a session for our people? So I said, okay, who are the target audience? He said, engineering students. And he said, most of them are third year and fourth year engineering students. Then I went into my memory in terms of thinking about what did we do in third year, fourth year engineering college? And then I realized it's 25 years since I passed out of my engineering and I'm in a different field altogether. I'm in human resources. I don't deal with machines anymore. I deal with people now. So when I think about what is it that I should be speaking to you, I ask this question. So make it interesting. What would make it meaningful for the participants of this session? So I came up with this name saying making a new beginning. So beautifully, Mr. Xavier connected that. Okay, so it's COVID season. So anything and everything that you do is you're making a new beginning for yourself. I'm going to extend the thought a little more. To me, making a new beginning every day is a new beginning. Every day you are investing to do something which is a new beginning. That is where I'm starting the entire idea about what this program is all about. So otherwise, I'm from Chennai. I studied in California. I did a master's degree in HR. Then I did my executive master's in Great Lakes in Chennai. So I've been posted in Bombay for a long time. Then from Bombay, I moved to Sri Lanka. Then into Malaysia and Singapore. That's what I currently do as a person that I do. That's what I do. But otherwise, if you ask me who Balaji Chandrakumar is, what I do today for life is I coach and guide people to perform to their fullest abilities. Their fullest potential is what I do. This is what I do for my living. So I work with employees to be able to perform better, to nurture them to be able to meet their own goals and also the company's goals. I think I'm a good problem solver, so I'm creative in what I do. I'm married, so hence I'm a caring husband. I would say, I don't know what my wife would say, but I think my wife would say that I'm a caring husband. My daughters would surely, I have two daughters, and my daughters would surely say that I'm a loving father. Usually, I'm a very energetic, enthusiastic person, somebody who loves a lot of humor, and an amateur cook. I can cook a bit as well. So I'm concentrated on health and fitness recently because at the age at which we are, sometimes it's important. COVID has taught us one thing: health and fitness to be the most important thing. Last but not the least, I think I'm a lifelong student. I mean, I'm willing to learn from from anybody, any age, any experience levels. I'm always willing to learn to people, right? So let's focus on what is the context in which you are right now. If you're a third year or a final year student, you're at a very important stage of making a very important decision of what you would be in the future. You're going to make the most important change in your life. So your jobs and your marriage and all is subsequent, but the most important thing that you do right now is you are moving from college into a corporate. I mean, corporate would essentially mean you could also get into business. So you are essentially going to a phase of moving from college to corporate. So what does the world expect of you? Excellent topic where Mr. Xavier said that, IET is focused on making engineers to be more skilled engineers. Yes, but what does the world expect of you? In today's day and age, when technology is improving so fast, when we haven't heard about robotics, we haven't heard about artificial intelligence, we haven't heard about the programming that you guys are currently involved in. So the world is changing so drastically. So today's world really needs good leaders. You could be an engineer, you could be a doctor, you could be an artist, you could be a musician, you could be anything. But the world really needs good leaders. What does a good leader do? Essentially, when you say a leader is someone who can make a positive impact or a positive change in making life better for himself and for the others. So a leader is somebody who makes a positive change in making life better for himself or others. As engineers, so today I have my Apple phone in my hand. So 25 years when we were passing out of engineering, I mean, we haven't heard of a mobile phone. And the first mobile phone that we had was the size of a brick. This big Motorola phone, I think Mr. Jawahar and all would be able to recollect. So, and that was so heavy to carry with you. And today I can literally live my life on my phone. I don't need a laptop. This small chip has got the highest power for me to lead my day-to-day life as well as manage my job very efficiently. And interestingly, I read this, so I mean, some of you could validate this. The rocket which took Neil Armstrong to the moon had a particular computer. That computer power is lesser than the computing power that what you have in your iPhone today. Such is the technology that's changing. So you are continuously changing, and then there are people who are making this change happen. And as engineers, you have a significant responsibility of being part of the change and making it happen. So having said that, I thought I'll break this entire session into three main components. One is I would like to share some of the stories that has happened in my life. And I think that stories could be interesting for you. And certainly because these are stories that has made me as who I am today. So hence I'm so happy and glad to share them with you. Second aspect I want to share is about dreaming. So what is your dream for the future? What is your dream? I'm not talking about ambition, but what is your dream for the future is what I'm talking about. And the third section that I want to talk about is, do you know who you are as a person? There are three sections in which I'm talking about. And then at the end of it, I will also have a quick summary for you to be able to recollect some of those things. So let me start with the lessons that I learned very early in my life. My parents told me that I should be a doctor right from the time I can ever imagine. So right from the kindergarten till all my years, my parents have always said that, Balaji, you should be a doctor. And Balaji also believed that he will be a doctor. And Balaji was not a bad student. So these are the marks that I got. Biology 198, Maths 198, Chemistry 198, Physics 196, all out of 200. Okay, which means I done extremely well, and there's no reason why Balaji cannot be a doctor. Because I mean, it's so easy. I mean, so I passed out in 1991. In 1991, these marks are fantastic. I mean, I thought, okay, I'm going to be a doctor. But destiny had a different focus, right? So I missed my medicine by 0.45 marks. Can you imagine how upsetting that could be? You miss your medicine by less than half a mark. So not a problem. Let me try again next year. So I did 1 year of physics. I studied at Loyola College in Chennai, and then I went back and gave my entrance examination. That was the year when the government decided that cut-off marks, if the subject is not accounted, only your entrance test is required. So hence, next year when I tried medicine, I used it at 1.25 marks. First year was less than half a mark. Second year was a bigger margin. So by this time, my parents were so upset and rejected, and they were so dejected. So typically, your parents put a lot of pressure on who we want to be, right? So hence I said, okay, so what is the next best option? The next best option is for me to join engineering. So I joined engineering. And I wanted to be away from my parents, and one of the most important choices was that I will go and study in a college which is far away and in a place that is very nice and where I can enjoy my hostel life. That was the idea. So hence, I joined an engineering college in Coimbatore, and that's when one of the most important parts of my life actually began. I did not want to be an engineer, but then ultimately I landed in engineering because I didn't have another choice. So because it was very important for me to take up that particular course. And very interesting 4 years. During the 4 years, I learned engineering. I really loved the subject that I learned. So specifically subjects on heat and mass transfer, design of machine elements. These were subjects which really thrilled me because they really helped me understand the concept of how a small nut or a bolt is designed and why is it designed the way it is designed. And it was brilliant. I mean, I really, really liked it. But that 4 years of staying in the hostel taught me a lot of life skills. I mean, skills that are meant for your life, which will help you in your future. It taught me a lot of life skills, which I'm very thankful for. And as luck would have it, third year, we went for an Air Force. I don't know if it still happens, the Air Force Selection Board, AFSB, they call for young engineers to join them as pilot officers. And this interview was happening in Mysore. And I got through Air Force Selection Board. From a batch of 500 people, they selected 3 guys. I was one among them. I was so proud because you got a job already before you finished engineering. And that too as a pilot officer. So the very moment you say that you have got a job and as a pilot officer and you walk back into college, people look at you, people observe you. So that happened. And I finished my mechanical engineering as well. And I passed with no arrears, and then I passed with a 76% overall. So somebody who did not want to be a doctor goes into engineering, finishes 4 years with no arrears, I was 76%. And life doesn't stop here. I finished my college, and then I'm supposed to be joining Air Force, and then this happens. I meet with an accident. I mean, I was riding a bike, I hit a dog on the road, I fell down, I literally lost one leg, and I was 3 months bedridden. I literally lost a leg, but I survived with 1% hope. With that 1% hope, my leg survived, and today I'm able to jog 5 kilometers non-stop. Thanks to that episode, I went through the bad accident which changed my life again. So now I become unfit to join Air Force. I cannot join Air Force. So, and I have no clue, because somebody who had a job in hand, and that was a pilot officer, which means you are a gazetted officer. And that time my father used to be the government. He used to sign in green ink, and that was a pleasure. Okay, so only a gazetted officer usually can sign on a green ink. And when I joined as a pilot officer, my salary would have been higher than my father, and I would have been able to sign on green ink. So hence that pride was very important for me. But unfortunately, this episode completely changed that aspect, and I had no idea what to do. But the only thing I was very, very clear about was that I will do anything as a job, but I would surely not get into sales. And mind you, during that accident, I'd actually got through Sundaram Clayton, and I had a job in Sundaram Clayton, and I also had a job in Hyundai Motors in engineering. So all the jobs gone. So you're currently in the hospital with nothing to happen. And as luck would have it, I said I will never touch a job in sales. It so happened that the only job that I got was in Dunlop. It was a very good company, and I got a job as a sales engineer. So just fast forward 3 years from then, I became the youngest regional manager of a Swedish multinational company in sales and marketing, handling the entire south of India. For someone who does not want to be an engineer, finishing engineering, someone who does not want to be in sales, but then being in sales, and then in 3 years time flat, when I was only 23 at that point in time, I was already a regional manager for South India, where across the industry, I was one of the youngest regional managers at that point in time. So I realized only one thing during this journey, that I'm good with people. So that's why sales job works for me. So I'm able to interact very well. I'm able to convince people. I can present my ideas and thoughts very clearly to others. I'm better than other people. I'm better with people more than machines. So then I joined consulting and training industry. And that's how today I'm in human resources. So and I love every moment of it. And I have no regrets that I did not do my medicine or I did not stay in engineering. But all of that has taught me wonderfully in terms of how I should lead my life. That life skill learning is extremely important, and that's a moment that I take from my life at this point in time. So I realize only one thing. Sometimes in life, you don't get what you want, but making the best use of what you get is absolutely with you. I'll repeat. I did not get medicine, but I got engineering. I passed out with a 76% with no arrears. I did not want to be in sales. I turned out to be a very good salesperson, became a regional manager with 3 years experience. Sometimes you don't get what you want in life, but making the best use of what you have in your hand is absolutely with you. What does it mean? Whatever you do it to your fullest ability. Whatever you do it to your fullest ability, and whatever you do, you will excel in it. It does not mean A field or B field or C field. In any field of work that you work, when you give your fullest, you will succeed. Sometimes you don't get what you want, but making the best use of what you have in your hand is absolutely with you. And if you love what you do, you will not be working a single day in your life. This is a principle that I have really, really loved. So I'm not sure if it's very clear for all of you. What it means is, for some people, getting up and going to the college is a tough thing. Sitting through a classroom session will be a tough thing. For somebody, going through examinations is tough. For somebody, completing a project on time is tough. For somebody, going to work, going to a job, going to office on a daily basis is tough. But if, for example, you love what you do, if that is what you're very passionate about, and if it comes straight from your heart, if you love what you do, you don't feel the burden at all. It is like going and doing what you love the most. It's not working. There, it's not going to be working. You're going to be doing something that you really enjoy a lot. So hence, the principle is, if you love what you do, you will not be working a single day in your life. And today I'm in HR. I told you that I help people to succeed. Every time I talk to a team member of mine or a subordinate of mine or a colleague of mine who's in a problem, who comes to me to ask me, Bala, how do I handle this? Can you help me? Can you advise on how to solve this? I need some help. Can you help me? When I spend time with them, I don't see it as work at all. I enjoy that entire thing because that's what I love to do. So finding what you love to do is extremely important. Otherwise, you would be doing something that you don't really like to do. And then it becomes a burden. Then it is like going, drag yourself out of the bed, going to the office, coming back, your life is going to be not so great. You'll not enjoy your life. You'll only enjoy your life when you do what you love to do. And hence, be clear about what you're passionate about and choose a job or a career that helps you to do what you really love to do. If you're a programmer and you love coding, choose a job that is going to help you to do. If you're a designer, if you love to design, choose a job that will help you to design. Be creative. If you're a person with a lot of artistic sense and you can combine technology, engineering, and art together, and if that's something that you really, really love, choose a profession that will help you to do that. So that choice is with you. Now, I hope so far what I've spoken about my life, that was the key learning for me, and I hope this makes sense to you. The second aspect that I want to talk about today is to talk about dreaming. You must be wondering, what is this guy talking? We are engineers, we're finishing our college. So what am I talking about dreaming? So somewhere during our life, I think the word dreaming comes as somebody who's lazy, who's sitting idle, who's not concentrating on something, who's only thinking about something else abstract. So here I'm not talking about abstract dreaming. I'm talking about a purposeful dreaming. Everyone needs to have a dream. So this is a scrapbook image. I recreated this. I have the original at home still. This is something that I created as a scrapbook when it was done in the year 1989. So 1989 is the year when I finished my 10th standard. So at that point in time, I'm not sure if Mr. Jawahar would remember this. This is a car called as a Tata Estate. I think they still have a Tata Estate car, which looks beautiful, and there is to be a TV ad. That ad in which the car goes into mud road and goes into the forest and then drives into the city and then comes and parks in front of the house. I saw that ad, and the first thing that I stuck to me is, wow, I need to have a car like this at some point in time. Then I thought, okay, it's coming and standing in front of a beautiful house. So hence, I really need a beautiful house. And that's how I said, okay, I need to pick up a very beautiful house. So then I wanted a car, I need a beautiful house. Then your mind doesn't stop there. So I was only 16 at the point in time, right? So if my father had known that I was thinking about marriage, he would have literally torn me into pieces that day. But then I still thought about, okay, so I think I'll get married to a beautiful wife and I'll have 2 little children. That was a thought that I had when in 1989 when I was in my 10th standard. So I collected these pictures from the Hindu newspaper. The next day advertisement that came in, so I took some photographs of that. I took some house photographs, and then I took a family photograph, and then I put all of them together on a single sheet. I pasted them together, and then I also wrote this called 28. I don't know if anyone can recognize what this 28 actually means. So I thought if I don't have a target date by which I will complete this, there is no point of having this. So I decided that by the age of 28, I should have my own car, I should have my own house, and that will qualify me to get married. And that age in which I'll get married is 28. So this was done when I was in my 10th standard, after I passed my 10th standard, to be precise. So I had this with me for a very, very long time, and I used to see it very often. I used to see it very often. As luck would have it, I told you that I was the youngest regional manager at the age of 23. At 23, I had my own car. I also bought my own house, and hence I also got married when I was 24. I met my wife in 23 and I got married when I was 24. The reason why I'm saying this is you need to be able to visualize your dreams. You start dreaming of what you want. And it's very interesting. On a jovial note, let me share this with you. I still have that sheet with me, and I keep updating every 5 years. I keep updating my scrapbook. I still have the book in which I paste things and I keep it. I don't know how many of you follow it, but if you don't do it, try doing it. The biggest challenge is for you to be able to visualize what you dream. It's not easy. So many people can think about doing a job, getting a good job is very easy. But then being able to visualize a life beyond a job is difficult, and that's why I'm calling it a dream. I'm not just talking about an ambition. So an ambition is something that you can do. A dream, like for example, so today after 150 years, there are people getting awards today for innovation. Dream about what that innovation can do to the world. How can you benefit people? How can you benefit the fellow human beings? And right now, if you can get images to take somewhere and paste it into a book, please make it. Then you break it down into goals in terms of, in order to achieve the dream, what do you need? How do you go about it? Break it down into goals. And most importantly, write them down. Most importantly, write them down. I taught my daughter this when she was in the 6th standard, my elder daughter. I asked her, what do you want to be? And then she said she wanted to be a surgeon. I said, fantastic. What kind of a surgeon would you want to be? She didn't know the word cardiologist at that point in time. So she said, Daddy, I would like to be a heart surgeon. So I said, fantastic. And then I said, how are you going to help people? She said, I want to help the poor people, needy people and all of it. That's what she said. And then she wrote. So then I also asked her, so tell me, what kind of family do you like in the future? So she laughed, smiled at me and said, Daddy, no, I can't say that to you. I said, why? You can tell me. And then she says, okay, I need a husband like you. So I got a little shocked and surprised, and as a father, you feel very proud. Okay, so that, she feels blessed to marry somebody like you, which means that she sees certain qualities. So while I was happy about it, she just stopped by and said, only one difference.
Okay, sir. Last one present.
She said that it is a very hilarious moment. I can't forget. Today, my daughter has finished, so she's in LKG. Is just starting to
Right,
talk.
sir. Join
Starting from October. So she is living her dream right now. I mean, our dreams did change. She did change her dreams. But she exactly knew what she wanted in life. And that's what she's doing right now. So I would encourage each one of you to take a small smartphone, take photographs of your dreams and paste it there. It's going to be really, really helpful to you. So why is it important? Because anything that is created in the world, they say is created once. Anything which is created anywhere in the world is created twice. One in your head, in your mind, and the next one is in reality. First, you need to have what you want in your dream, in your goal, in your head. And then only it becomes a reality. And as part of becoming a reality, if your goals and your dreams, if it's not written down, they just remain as dreams. The moment you write it down or you pictorially put it into a scrapbook and you see it every day, it sets off a chain of events that will change your life. So because every time you see, your mind wants to achieve that. It starts reminding you that, are you doing the right thing? Are you getting into the right direction? So are you doing the right one to move next step? It reminds you continuously. So hence, don't stop with dreaming, but write it down and break it down into goals that you want to achieve. That's going to come in extremely helpful to you. Section 3. First section, we spoke about some of my own life experiences. We spoke about not everything will happen the way you want. And we said that, but whatever you can do, if you do it very well, that is up to you. It's absolutely up to you is what we spoke about. Second thing that we said is, if you're passionate about something that you do, you will never work a single day. Then we spoke about dreaming. Dreams are very important. Think about dreams in terms of what is it that you can do. But visualize those dreams. Remember, dreams, anything that's created in the world is created twice. One in your dream and next in reality. And if you look at any inventor's autobiography, you'll find that all of them have dreamt about what they wanted to do. It's a very interesting thing. Please go back and read. You will find it very useful. Right? So hence we're saying, think about it, dream, but don't stop at dreaming. Convert that into an actionable goal and follow that through. That's extremely important. And what will help you to follow that through is basically who you are as a person. So when I sit in interviews, when I interview young engineers, one of the questions that commonly asked is, tell me about yourself. I will tell you how the response is on 99% of the occasion. My name is Balaji Chandrakumar. I come from a family in Chennai. My dad was a government servant. My mom is a housewife. I'm an engineer. So that does not say who you are. Who you are is defined in terms of what is the personality that you are. What is keeping you motivated? What is keeping you challenged? What motivates you is what who you are is. So on most occasions, most young graduates, they come up with an answer giving a autobiography answer, not essentially to talk about who they are. The reason because most of them cannot explain that because they do not know who they are. So one of the best methods for you to be able to understand this is, unless and until you know who you are, you are going to agree with anyone and everybody who says that this is who you are. Like say, for example, you have heard from your parents, right? So it's very easy for them to say, I mean, parents do use this very casually, right? Banga somberini. You tend to believe that. If you do not have a view of who you are, you tend to believe that. And then the more and more number of people who say that, you tend to believe that that is what it is. And it is true of the other side also. நீ வந்து நீ அவன் பொய்யை சொல்ல மாட்டான். He is a very honest person. பொய் சொல்ல மாட்டான், அவன் பொய் சொல்ல மாட்டான் அப்படின்ற அந்த point when you hear more and more, you tend to live and believe that that's what it is. But what is important is, first of all, you need to know who you are. How do you define this? This is my example, right? This is what I am. If you ask me, yes, I'm an engineer. I mean, I can explain this entire background. But as a person, this is my personality. And I'm a person who loves to coach and guide people. I'm a creative problem solver. I'm a caring and a loving husband. I mean, I'm energetic and enthusiastic in everything that I do. I'm very passionate about it. I love humor. So, I'm an amateur cook. I'm focused on health and fitness, and I learn from anyone and everyone. Now, this is who I am. This is my personality. So, please write down who you are as a person. I think that's an important aspect, and I'll tell you why. This is going to be the starting point from which you are going to build your future. First of all, define yourself into who you are as a person. And once you have written that down, remember, you become who you think you are. And this is available in all scriptures, whether it be in Bhagavad Gita or Bible or Quran, in any scripture that you look at. It always says you become who you think you are. So for you to know who you are, you need to feed your brain to say that this is who I am. So I'm a person like this. This is what I do, and I want to be this. Most importantly, define your personality. Write down and say that I'm a person. I'm a person who's good in this. I'm a person who does this. I'm a person who's this. So write your positive side of your qualities very, very well. And on the one side of the sheet, also write what are your strengths and what improvement areas that you need to have. And one thing very important is also say, what are you very passionate about? So the reason why I'm saying this, your personality, your strengths, your areas of improvement, and your passion, now your life starts building based on this. And your dreams also start building based on this. Understand your personality, know what your strengths are, know what areas that you need improvement, and know what you are very passionate about. How do you know what you're very passionate about? What you're passionate about is something where you can spend hours together without realizing that you're actually doing work. I'm not referring to watching YouTube or being on Facebook, right? So that is a pastime. So that is not a passion. Passion is something that you're creating something new. Have you realized sometimes when coders, when I recruit some young software engineers in my team, so those guys can sit together for about 12 hours non-stop. And because they're so much engrossed in the coding, that if they forget lunch, they forget even a bathroom break, they continuously keep working, their mind is so focused. So that is passion, because you forget everything else. When you're doing that, you forget everything else, and that is passion. And that passion, when you have, it shows to the other people. And hence take feedback from others to ask, so what do you think are my strengths? I mean, what do you think are the areas that I should improve? What do you think what do you think is my personality all about? What do you think I do well? So ask those questions to people. Parents are also very good people who can give you feedback, but sometimes parents could be biased. So what I mean by biased is they either like you so much, or sometimes they take you for granted, and then they tell you, hey, so they may be dismissive. So choose the right kind of people that you can speak to. Speak to people who can help you to understand what your strengths are. And when I'm talking about the personality, you have a current personality, right? So write down what your strengths are and areas are. And now start defining yourself as a person whom you want to be. What is a person whom you want to be? Like, for example, if you're a person who's an athlete, for example, so you define your personality as an athlete. And if you're a person who is not an athlete, I mean, who's slightly, say, slightly plump or slightly obese, and you want to reduce your weight, if you define your personality as obese or a fat person, so you're going to remain that way. But you need to, if say for example, if you're going to be redefining your personality as a person who's athletic in nature, a person who's very healthy in nature, so then break it down, that particular personality trait, into the habits that will help you to become that personality. What are the habits? For somebody who's supposed to be fit and healthy, works out at least 3 times a week, goes for a jog at least once in a week, eats healthy food. So these are habits that you can build. The reason why I'm spending so much time so far, the personality, now coming to habits, it's these habits, a bundle of habit is the one that defines who you are as a person. Your personality is nothing but your habits, which means your habits are something that you very subconsciously do. You repeat yourself again and again and again, and that's your habit, right? So your habits, a selection of your habit, a collection of your habit, will define who you are as a person. Your personality is just a bundle of your habits. If you're a smoker, your personality is a smoker. I mean, you are a smoker. If you're an athlete, you are an athlete. If you're a person who's always on top of your class, which means you're a studious person. If you're a person who are at the middle of the class but who understands the subject extremely well, so you're a person who understands subject very, very well, highly knowledgeable on the subject. So each of these are personality traits, and that is defined by your habits. That's defined by the habits that you have. This is a very important aspect. While working on these habits, the most important aspect that you should build is, people always give excuses, and I'll go back to this fitness example because I have been through this, so hence I can talk to you confidently. When you start a new habit, so every year for New Year's on January 1st, people come up with a long list of to-dos. Okay, this is what I'm going to do this year and all that. But usually by March, I mean, all of it drops. And by April, it's forgotten. So nothing happens after that. So that has happened to me so many times, and I can tell you that for a fact. So one of the things that I realize is, your brain, your mind is so powerful. So you feed the right things to your brain works right. So look at this. If you think you can, you are right. You can. If you think you cannot, I can't do this. If you think you cannot, you're still right. You cannot. Because you have already told your brain that you cannot. And your brain is telling you cannot. So hence, choose what you think. Keep your thoughts very clear and do not build negative thoughts on your personality. If you have any negative thoughts on your personality, try and remove them. And there are different methods and solutions by which speak to some of the seniors, particularly professors, teachers who can help you and guide you to remove some of the negative thoughts that you might have about yourself. And on the most occasions, these negative thoughts are misconceptions that you think about yourself. So remove your negative thoughts and think positive. And start trying. Start doing it. So as part of your personality, you have a dream, and if you want to achieve it, start trying to achieve, moving towards your dream. And the very moment you say that you're trying, please note, there will be a phase in which you will lose. There has been no successful invention or a creation ever in life which has succeeded on the first attempt. I mean, I'm sure all of you would have known, before the invention of the bulb, how many experiments did he do? 1008 is what they say. So somebody to keep on trying it, imagine the kind of passion that you would have had to keep repeating this again and again and again. But the most important aspect is, again, keep your mind positive. Because every time you try and you fail, you learn one step towards it. So you go closer to it. It is by failing is what you learn. And by repeating it with the new learning that you have, you'll perfect it over a period of time. And please count failures as also part of your journey. So do not believe that you just need to go get, and then you try this, you will get it. So today, unfortunately, we are in a phase of life where everything is on the fingertip. I mean, so, and your entertainment is on fingertip. Everything is on fingertip, right? So, I mean, and the entertainment is endless. You look at YouTube. Can you stop watching YouTube? If you, I mean, does it stop sometime? It's endless. It does not have a time frame. It keeps on going. You can keep on doing things. So, what happens is you just need to realize that it's not entertainment. While you're going towards a journey, you are going to have problems. Stop. Think about what actually happened. Pick up the learning from there. Try it again and move on. So usually they say the very moment you try something, what happens is there is a dip because the failure, the motivation drops. And most inventions happen only with those people who stayed. If you can imagine like a curve which goes up. So it is only after this period is when people actually go through to a tough time. So going through this a couple of cycles of success and failure is extremely important for you to have a long-term success. Nobody gets success on right at the first stop. Nobody gets it. Every time people learn from the failures and do it. Every invention in the world, we talk about aeroplanes, we talk about satellites, we talk about rockets, I mean, you talk about even surgeries. Everywhere you have an element of failure, but the people who have tried and perfected the art, today you get into an aeroplane not thinking that it's going to crash, right? Because you know that the possibility of an aircraft crash is less than 100 million times. So 1 by 100 million. So which means, I mean, it's absolutely rare occasion that can happen. So and the world has perfected it so much with technology, and it's like engineers like you and me who have done this work. Okay, I should say that engineers like you who have done this work, not so much me, right? And failure is not the opposite of success. It's just part of your success. You just need to go through that structure in which you, even if you fail, you bounce back and then you move on. And this is a very important thing. No one is a failure until you decide to agree on that. If somebody says you failed, I mean, so you did not do well, but you failed, it is only when you agree that you are a failure that you become a failure. And till the time that you agree that you are a failure, you're not a failure. And examinations are passing and failing. An examination is not failure. It just tells you that you did not put the right amount of work, or you did not understand the subject properly. That can be corrected. Failure in life is you have a dream, but you have not acted on it, and you have not worked towards it, and you're still leading a very mediocre life. That is failure. So hence, don't allow anyone to tell you that you are a failure. Because in Tamil, it's a very common thing. Like, people say it very easily. So do not accept those things. So because you are not a failure till the time you decide to agree that you're a failure or not. So to me, making a new beginning is making a new beginning every day in your life. So lead a life in which you're making a new beginning every time. So let me summarize. There are 8 tips that I'm talking about here. Make the best use of what you have. Expect the best from you at every point in time in your life. Do not settle down for something that's not good. Make the best use of whatever you get in your hand. And make sure you love what you do. You will enjoy every moment of it. If you don't love what you do, you're not going to enjoy it. I mean, so either you find something that you love or you start loving what you find. So it's only that option. Have a dream for your life. Your life has a purpose for you and for others. And as engineers today, you need to have that purpose very well defined and dream about what that vision is, what that value is. And visualize your dream, put it in a scrapbook and break it down into goals. Understand who you are as a person, what is your strength, what are your areas of improvement that you need to have, what is it that you're very passionate about, and define yourself as a personality. And ask this question, the person with this personality, what habits will he have? and then start building those habits. And in this journey, you will fail. And don't worry about failure, because that's only a step forward for you to move towards it. But in every failure, there is a learning. And think positive always. And yes, that's a choice that you can make, and it's all up to you. Thank you very much. Geoffer?
So, I would like to extend a very heartfelt thanks to you, sir. And at this outset, I will like to ask the participants if they have anything to discuss with our resource person related to this topic. So you can unmute your microphones and ask the resource person, or else you can also write your queries or your comments in the chat section.
Please don't call me resource person. Please call me Balaji, please. Please don't call me resource person. Call me Balaji.
Okay.
And Geoffer,
Yeah.
the posters that you saw here,
Yes.
in the presentations, there were posters, right?
Yeah.
And you would have found it with the hashtag IET.
Yes.
All those posters have already sent it to Mr. Reginald.
Okay, I'll get it from him and just circulate to everyone who
Him or you could actually WhatsApp your number. I will send it to you. Please send it to people in WhatsApp so that they can see it at any point in time, so that they will remember some of the concepts that we spoke.
Okay, great. We'll do that. Yeah, I'll send my WhatsApp number.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open for any questions, please.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
So most of the students, they have when they are traveling towards that, when they find difficulty, immediately they are changing their dream because it is not possible, because they find with the difficulty. So in that case, what they have to do, sir?
Like I spoke, Mr. Jawar. So see, and the dream achieve பண்றன்றது அது கஷ்டமே படாம அச்சீவ் பண்றது ட்ரீம், அது வந்து இட்ஸ் நாட் அன் அச்சீவ்மெண்ட், அது ட்ரீம் இல்லை. கஷ்டப்பட்டாதான் இந்த ட்ரீம் அச்சீவ் பண்ண முடியும். அதனால தான் ஒரு இட்ஸ் கால்ட் அ ட்ரீம். இந்த அச்சீவ் பண்றது இட் வில் ஹேவ் இட்ஸ் ஓன் சேலஞ்சஸ். ஸோ அந்த சேலஞ்சஸை when you realize at the starting of the dream itself that I will go through these difficulties, and hence you be prepared for those difficulties, but still stick with it. So there is a research which says, Mr. Xavier, which says that 99% of the best possible invention opportunities are lost because people did not follow through after the initial set of failures. And somebody else comes and makes an improvement on it, and then they build on it after that. So today, if you look at the examples like even LinkedIn. So LinkedIn as a portal, they did not succeed initially. It took a lot of time for them to iterate and correct, and that's where they are today, the way they are right now. So everything has to go through a cycle of corrections. So adukku mukkiyamaana vishayam ennu kettீங்கன்னா, how committed are you to the dream? So I just, for example, if an engineering student says he wants to create an invention by which it is going to revolutionize the life of a farmer by introducing a new tool, for example. And the farmer life revise பண்ணனும்னா அது ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா இருந்தா என்ன கண்டுபிடிச்சிருப்பாங்க வேற யாராவது. இது வரைக்கும் யாரும் கண்டுபிடிக்கல, அது இன்னும் இன்வென்ட் பண்ணல அர்த்தம். அந்த சேலஞ்சஸ் ஓவர் கம் பண்றதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற திங்க் பண்ணிட்டு இது பண்ணும்போது இந்த ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ்லாம் வரதுக்கு சக்சீட் ஆகும். So which means you need to believe that your dream is achievable, and number two, you need to be able to stay committed to the dream. So இது ரெண்டும் இல்லைன்னா ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். So people will fall, and what happens unfortunately is there are some example of the 99% of the great invention opportunities are lost because of failures and so on. Most of the people actually never start. They don't even create anything new. They don't need something else to